You are tangled in the warmth of Park Jimin embrace, his lips moving tenderly against yours as you savor the moment. His apartment feels like your own little bubble where time seems to slow down. The night is quiet and the city distant sounds barely reach you, adding to the coziness of the dimly lit room. Jimin hand gently roam your back, pulling you closer as if he can't stand the thought of you slipping away. But as the minutes tick by, you know it's getting late. You pull away from him with a soft sigh, running your fingers through his tousled hair. He looks up at you, his brown eyes glimmering with a soft glow full of affection and something deeper, something that makes your heart clench in the best way. I have to go, you whisper, starting to sit up, already feeling the cool air hit your skin as you reach for your clothes. You start to gather your clothes, pulling them on piece by piece as Jimin watches you from the bed. His bare body is sprawled across the sheets, a playful pout on his lips making it clear he doesn't want you to leave. You try to avoid his gaze, knowing it will only make things harder, but the way he looks at you with that mixture of longing and affection sends shivers down your spine. Please don't go, baby, Jimin murmurs, his voice soft and filled with the irresistible sweetness. He props himself up slightly on his elbow, his eyes following your every moment as you sigh softly, pulling your shirt over your head and walking back to him. You can feel the pull between you two, that magnetic connection you always feel when you are close to him, but you know you can't stay no matter how much you want to. I have to go, Jimin. You say, trying to keep your tone firm but gentle. I can't leave Yuna alone at night. She's afraid of the dark. Yuna is 15 years old. Sister who is afraid of dark, so there's no chance you can stay here with him. Jimin's pout deepens as you lean down to give him a goodbye kiss, but just as your lips are about to brush his, he moves with surprising speed, flipping you onto the bed beneath him. You gasp in surprise, you back hitting the soft mattress at Jimin. Hovers over you, his weight pinning you down. Jimin, you protest, trying to push against his chest, but he doesn't budge. His strong arms trap you in place, his playful smug returning as he looks down at you. Let me go. I really have to go. Yuna's waiting for me. He shakes his head, his lips brushing your cheek as he speaks. Just stay a little longer, baby, he whispers, his voice dripping with affection. I don't want to leave you yet. You try again to push him off, but he shifts his weight, pressing you more firmly against the bed. Jimin, I can't. Yuna is at home alone, just terrified of the dark. I can't just leave her all night. You whisper to yourself. I really have to go, but as you try to sit up, Jimin drops his full body weight on you, blocking you from moving. You can feel the warmth of his skin against yours, his arms wrapped around you, keeping you trapped. After a moment of struggling, you finally give up, relaxing your back onto the mattress with a defeated sigh. What do you want, Jimin? You ask, your voice soft but firm. You know he's not going to let you go easily. He leans down, his lips brushing your ear as he whispers, move in with me. Bring your sister too. Your eyes widen in shock and you push against his chest hard enough to make him retract slightly, his chest no longer pressed against your breast. You sit up, running your fingers through your hair and trying to compose yourself as you process what he just said. Jimin sits beside you, watching you carefully, waiting for your reaction. What? You ask, your voice a mixture of surprise and confusion. No, Jimin, what are you talking about? He tilts his hand, his expression softening as he reaches out to take your hand. Why not, baby? I hate it when you leave me at night. I want to wake up next to you every morning. You shake your head, trying to gather your thoughts. You mean a live-in relationship? He smiles, nodding enthusiastically. Yes, a live-in relationship. I am tired of you leaving me. I want you here with me, always. You stare at him, your mind racing. It's not that you don't love him. You do deeply, but moving in together, it feels like a such big step, and you can't just leave your sister alone. Jimin, you start, your voice unsure. I need time to think about this. It's just not about us. I can't just move in without considering everything. Jimin's smile falters a little, but he nods understanding in his eyes. I know, I just hate seeing you go every time. Take your time, baby. Just know I am serious about this. You take a deep breath, standing up from the bed. I'll think about it, okay? You say, your voice soft but determined, but I really have to go now. Jimin watches as you grab your bag, his eyes filled with longing and a little sadness. Okay, he whispers, but don't take too long, alright? You nod, giving him a small smile before leaving his apartment. Your mind is swirling with thoughts as you make your way home, unsure what your next move should be. You stand in your small one room apartment, staring at the big whiteboard that hangs on the wall, a black marker in your hand. The apartment is tiny, just one room that you share with your little sister Yuna, a small kitchen, and a hall. It's cramped, but it's been home for the past year, and the whiteboard has become your go to for making big life decisions. Right now, it's about to help you with one of the biggest decisions yet. Park Jimin. Your sister Yuna sits on the couch, arms crossed, watching you. She's 15, but sometimes she has the wisdom of someone much older. You sigh and take a step closer to the board, drawing a line straight down in the middle, parting it into two sections. Reasons to keep Park Jimin and reasons to break up with him. Okay, Yuna, help me make this decision, alright? You say, glancing over at her. Yuna gives a small nod, though her expression tells you she's already leaning towards the right. You kept the marker for a moment, thinking the first and the most valid reason to keep him. You start as his lips. You smirk a little, remembering his soft, kissable lips. His lips are so kissable, plus, he's so amazing and bad. The best have ever I had. You heard Eunice cough in amusement from the couch, but that's a good thing you told me all your exes were losers in that department. You let out a short laugh, nodding. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a solid reason to keep him, but you trail off, tapping the marker against the board. He's asking me to move in with him. Yuna raises an eyebrow, her arms still crossed. And what about me, huh? I'm not going back to mom and dad. Her voice is firm as if the very thought of returning to Busan was a nightmare. Your parents still live there with your grandparents, and they had sent Yuna to live with you in Seoul for her education. You have been here for 2 years and Yuna for one, both of you enjoying the freedom that came living within the big city, far away from your dad's strict rules. You glance over at her, trying to reassure her. He said you could live with us too. That gets her attention. She uncrosses her arms, her eyes lighting up with a glimmer of excitement. Is he rich? She asks, sitting up straighter. The idea of leaving this cramped apartment already appeals to her. You hesitate, then nod. He's got a 4 BHK apartment in hi fi society. So, yeah, technically he makes a good money. Yuna eyes widen at the thought of the spacious apartment in such a fancy part of the city. Then what's the problem, Annie? Why are you even debating about this? You sigh deeply, twirling the marker between your fingers. The problem is the commitment. I'm not ready to make any kind of commitment like that. We have only been dating for 2 months. Living with the man feels like, I don't know, like living with dad all over again. He won't let us hang out with our friends whenever we want and forget about partying. Plus, I will probably have to cook for him and do all the house stuff. It feels like I am his wife, and I don't really want that. Yuna's face scratches up as she processes what you're saying. She's quick to agree. Yeah, you're right. I'm only 15 and I'm not even dating anyone. But I have friends who are boys. What if he has problem with that? Just like Dad did. Oh my god, no. She throws her hands up dramatically. That was a nightmare, Annie. I don't want that all over again. Your boyfriend could turn into that 2.0. You can't help but laugh at her exaggerations, though deep down the same thought had crossed your mind. Exactly. We finally have freedom after years of dealing with dad's rules. I don't want to give that up. Living with Jimin with might feel like going backward, back to being restricted and controlled. We have been through enough of that. You bite your lip looking at the board. The reason to stay with Jimin seems so small compared to the reasons to break up, and your sister words echo in your mind, solidifying your decision. I think you're right. You say, finally uncapping the marker again and scribbling a few more points under reasons to break up. Then, with a deep breath, you turn to Yuna. I'll go to his apartment tomorrow and will break up with him. Yuna beams, clearly relieved. Good, I knew you would make the right choice, Sunny. You smile at her, but inside there's a small pang of sadness. Jimin is great in so many ways, but you know this is the right decision for both of you and your sister. Living with him would mean giving up the freedom you have fought for so many years. And you are not ready for that, not yet. Time skip. The next day, you find yourself standing outside Jimin's apartment, your heart racing with nerves and anticipation. Today is the day you finally decide to break up with him. You take a deep breath and knock on the door only to be greeted by a handsome stranger. Hi, he says, flashing you a charming smile that sends a jolt through you. You can't help but stare, talking to his tall frame and the way his muscles are defined under his fitted t shirt. Your gaze stripped from his striking face down to his arms, tracing the prominent veins along his forearms. Taeyang chuckles softly, clearly amused by your unabashed admiration. Save that for later, he teases. Will you come in? And before that, can you tell me who you are? His deep voice, husky voice, sends shivers down your spine. Oh, hi, you stammer, suddenly frustrated. My name is Van. Is Jimin at home? Leon shakes his head. No, he's out of the town. Come on in. He steps aside, allowing you to enter. As he turns away, you follow him into the hall, still mesmerized by the way his muscles flex with every movement. I am Taeyang, his younger brother. Who are you? His girlfriend? He asks casually, glancing over his shoulders. No, no, you blurt out, cutting him off. Just a friend, the words tumble out before you can think, damn, though, the truth hanging heavy in your mind. You've never cheated on Jimin, but the thought of what he's asking for, a commitment, has left you feel panicked. You're lost in the thought when Taeyang steps closer, his smirk growing. You are so beautiful, and you would look even more beautiful under me, he says playfully, hinting at what he's suggesting. He starts walking towards the bedroom, and you stand there frozen in place, heart racing. Wait, you managed to say panic washing over you. What the hell are you thinking when you can't cheat on your boyfriend? But what if I break up with him right now? The thought sends a thrill through you as you consider your options. You pull out your phone, staring at it for a moment before texting Jimin. Hi Jimin, I am sorry but I am breaking up with you. I'm looking for a more serious relationship. I'm really sorry, please forgive me. After hitting sand, you walk into the bathroom, your pulse pounding in your ears. When you see Taeyong shirtless, your breath catches in your throat. His toned body is even more stunning up close, and you feel a mix of desire and guilt flooding through you. The next thing you know, you and Taeyong are tangled up on Jimin's bed, your mind swirling as you succumb to the moment. After the whirlwind of passion, you check your phone and your eyes widen in shock. Jimin hasn't seen the message yet. You jump out of the bed and scramble to put on your clothes in a frenzy. Hey, relax, what happened? Taeyong asks, concern act on his face as he watches you hurriedly dress. I have to go, you say, your heart racing, and please don't tell Jimin about this. Okay, but where can we meet again? He questions, his voice low and sultry. Why do you want to meet me? You are sitting on the edge of the bed to lace up your shoes. Taeyang comes over and wraps his arm around you from behind, his hand pressing against yours, sending shivers down your spine. Whatever happened between us was the best. He whispers, his breath warm against your ear. I would love to do it again. Can we go on a date? You feel a mixture of excitement and apprehension, but you shake your head. Give me time to think. I'm getting late. I really have to go by. And please keep this as a secret from your brother. Why? He asks again, but you don't answer. You slip out of the room, the weight of what just happened hanging heavy in your mind. As you leave, you can't help but wonder if you've just made the biggest mistake of your life or if it was the best decision ever. Back at your apartment, you're pacing frantically, your mind racing with guilt and confusion. Oh my god, Yuna, I am a horrible person. I cheated on my boyfriend. Yuna sitting on the couch with her arms crossed, smirks and raises an eyebrow. I sent you there to break up, Annie. And now you've got two boyfriends? Wow, you really are. You groan, collapsing onto the couch next to her. Dad will kill me if he ever finds out his daughter fooling around with the guys just for. Yuna laughs, rolling her eyes, and then he will drag us back to Busan. I would rather die than go back there. Okay, okay, relax, don't panic, we'll think through. Yuna's expression turns serious. What are you going to do? You stand up and start pacing again, standing in front of the board where you write all your decision. Time to make a decision. Yuna watches you crossing her arms as you shifts back on the couch. Annie, it's clear you have to break up with both of them, but who's first? You hesitate, chewing on your lip. Of course, I should break up with Taeyong first. Yuna interrupts, surprised. Wait, you're still choosing Jimin? Are you saying his brother wasn't good? You shake your head. No, no, Taeyong was really good. He was actually really good. But Jimin, he has this perfect clean body. Yuna's confession deepens. Okay, then you are dumping his brother? You sigh frustrated, but Taeyang has a face like he's so handsome. This is really hard to choose. Yuna raises her hand in surrender. Why don't you just dump both of them at the same time, Monday, before Dad finds out and makes it even worse? You groan again, flopping on the couch. Fine, I'll go and dump them both, but what would Jimin think? What will he say about me? Yuna shrugs, smirking. He'll think you're, which, let's be real, you kind of are right now. You glare at her. I'm not. It's just I couldn't control myself. It's all Jimin's fault. We were doing great, meeting every day, having the best on his back. And then he had to go and ask me to move in with him. It freaked me out. And then I ended up cheating on him with his brother. Yuna gives you a sympathetic look. It's okay, Vine. I understand. You're just got to back to break up with both of them. The weight of your family situation presses on you both growing up, and you now watched your dad treat your mom with a toxic control, and the idea of committing to anyone feels terrifying. While Yuna has never been in a relationship, your experience have been purely for physical, no emotional ties, no risk of ending up in the marriage like your parents, but now facing this situation. You realize it's time to confront everything you have been avoiding. You take a deep breath. Okay, I'll go and end things, both of them, before it's get even worse. Yuna nods. Good luck, Annie. Just be careful.